everybody. So Monica's birthday is tomorrow, and she had requested a surf and turf theme for her birthday dinner. So I went down to the market to pick up a few ingredients, and I figured it would be a good chance to give you guys a grocery haul of Whole Foods 365. If you haven't heard of Whole Foods 365, it's kind of like a scaled down version of a full-size Whole Foods. They only have about 8,000, 9,000 SKUs as opposed to like 30 or 40,000 at a regular Whole Foods. Also, something I learned from one of the employees at the Whole Foods 365 today was that it's not uncommon for Whole Foods 365 to have lower prices on the exact same items that you would find in a regular Whole Foods. So I think they're really focusing on a value-based model. They're streamlining the number of things that you can choose from. They're making it really convenient locating near residential areas. And it's kind of more of an in and out traditional grocery store experience, but with the quality of food standards that you'd come to expect from Whole Foods. So it was a fun experience. Normally that place is jam-packed, and I just so happened to take today off. So I got to do one of my favorite things, which is go shopping in the middle of the day on a weekday. There was nobody there. It was super dead. And I basically got my run of the place. Anyway, I picked up a couple of unique items. All right, so these are sea snacks. Monica's talked about these before. She took these on her girls' trip to Fredericksburg. Surprisingly, we've had a hard time finding seaweed snacks that aren't cooked in a really unhealthy oil. These are cooked in olive oil, which I suppose is better than canola oil, but you're really not supposed to heat up olive oil and use it as a cooking oil, but that's a story for a whole nother video. Anyway, I picked up some sea snacks at Monica's request, and she actually likes just the regular salt flavor, but I found a couple of really interesting new flavors that I wanted to give a try. I got this onion flavor, and then there's a wasabi flavored sea snack too. In fact, I think I'm gonna try some right now. Let's see if these taste anything like onion. All right, so the verdict is those taste like seaweed. This is another thing I picked up. These are grass-fed and grass-finished steaks. So I got a ribeye, and then I got a couple of pieces of filet as well. Anyway, we're gonna give these a shot. This will be the turf part of our surf and turf theme. For the surf part of our surf and turf theme, we got these. These are scallops. Whole Foods 365 vacuum seals them like this. I haven't decided whether or not it's a good thing. It definitely looks like it's keeping them fresh, but it looks like they're a little smushed in there. So I'm gonna see if they spring back to life after I free them from this cage tomorrow. Next up, I got these. These are some pasture-raised eggs. I've been looking for the perfect pasture-raised eggs for a long time now. About 2 years ago, we went to the farmer's market in downtown Austin, and that farmer's market is a little bit of a trek from our house, but we ran into this farmer who raises chickens all by himself, and he had just picked up the eggs the previous day, and the yolks to these eggs, I gotta tell you, they were the most gorgeous shade of orange. And I've never been able to reproduce that with eggs that I've bought in the store. And one of the things that he told me is that by the time it gets to you, the eggs in the store have probably been sitting out for about 4 or 5 weeks. So these eggs are twice the cost of just normal organic eggs. So there's $6 or $7 a dozen. So let's see if the price differential is worth it. Okay, next up, I got these. This is Waterloo flavored sparkling water. They're kind of like a LaCroix, but I think they're based here in Austin. Yep, they're based here in Austin. Austin makes really good stuff. A lot of our favorite keto foods and adult beverages are actually made right here in Austin. But anyway, I got these partly to represent Austin, and then also partly because I've really been digging citrus lately. So I bought a 12 pack, and as I was taking them out of the car, I dropped the entire thing. And so you can see every single can looks like this. I have no idea how I'm going to store them without them rolling everywhere, but I guess I'm glad that they just didn't explode. Next up, I got some ingredients because unexpected to me, my crispy pata recipe has actually been doing really well. It's one of our best performing videos. It really inspired me to get back to my roots and start bringing keto versions of Filipino recipes to this channel. So I kind of went down a rabbit hole and started researching some recipes, and literally there's a list list a mile long of things that I'd like to make. But there are 2 dishes that I'm going to be making here within the next couple of days because I know that my folks are going to be a fan of them and they're coming to visit next week. So the first is a Filipino dish called kare kare. And what that is it's basically, you know, a braised meat dish with a peanut butter sauce traditionally. Now, peanut butter isn't the greatest for keto, but I'm going to make an almond butter variant. And so here's what we need for that. Traditionally, kare kare is made with oxtail, but I'm going to make it with some chuck beef roast because this looked amazing. And I'm also going to add to the mix some bone marrow bones. That's more just because I love the marrow and it'll really help to impart a richness and a luxuriousness to the broth. And also, my dad's a fan of bone marrow as well, so I know that he's going to be stoked about that. Now, the recipe calls for some shrimp paste. They didn't have shrimp paste at Whole Foods 365, but they did have some anchovy paste. So I'm going to experiment and see if that's a viable substitute. Or in the next recipe I wanted to try was like a crispy Asian pork belly. And so I got these awesome cuts of pork belly with the skin on at H Mart the other day. And so I'm super excited to try that recipe. So I needed some 5-spice blend. And this 5-spice blend is incredible. It has cinnamon, fennel, cloves, star anise, and white pepper. So that's what's going to season the meaty side of the pork belly. One of the things I'm super excited about this recipe, aside from the fact that I get to have crispy pork belly, is that one of the techniques that I get to play with is salt encrusting the pork belly. So I got a butt ton of coarse kosher salt so that I can make that salt crust. And really get to experiment with that technique for the first time. Okay, the final thing I got at Whole Foods 365 was some dessert for Monica's birthday. I picked up these. This is Enlighten ice cream. If you're on low carb or keto, you've probably already found Halo Top ice cream. For those of you who haven't, Halo Top is this amazing ice cream that is made with erythritol and has a high amount of protein, relatively few carbs. It's not low carb, it's just much lower carb than regular ice cream. And so if you control yourself, you can probably still hit your macros for the day. But what this is Enlighten, which as best as I can tell is a competitor to Halo Top. But in terms of the net carbs, they actually won out by 1 gram. So Halo Top was averaging about 6 to 8 net carbs per serving. These are about 4 to 5 net carbs per serving. Every bit helps here when you're on the keto diet. So that's it from Whole Foods 365. If you have one in your area, you should definitely check it out. It's a completely unique experience from a standard Whole Foods. We're going to be making some more videos this weekend, so I'll see you then. Hey, I bought you some ice cream.
You did?
I did.
What flavor?
Well, birthday cake, of course.